So, welcome everyone to another episode of Randomly Insightful, where I am Random Jamal and this is Insightful Alex, where we give you something that you never saw coming. Our reactions. Yep. Speaking of things you never saw coming, some people actually did see things coming, and apparently they saw 5 terrifying predictions of real life tragedies. And we're currently on Top Trending TV. Please look them up. We're using their video. Please look them up. Check their site. Subscribe to it. We will be reacting to one of their videos. 5 terrifying predictions of real life tragedies. Anything like that ever happened? Like premonition type stuff, like you've ever been exposed to? Are you a superstitious person?
Not terribly. I have had really weird senses of deja vu, but it was never anything important. So I can't say that it was predicting the future. It was just randomly boring parts of my life that I felt like I lived over.
I'm sure that a lot of people get that because the daily grind kind of gets to you. Everything seems like the same day over again.
It's very Groundhog Day kind of a thing.
Yeah. I don't have any real premonition stuff. I am a little bit superstitious because when I was a kid, my mom, we went out to the beach, and really we went out to a private island where I'm from, third world country. Those are all around, and she found this lava rock, and she brought it back with us because she was going to use the minerals from it for her garden. In Hawaiian tradition, it is incredibly bad luck to do that, to touch, to even disturb any of those, and so when that rock was back at my place and me and my friends would just avoid it at all costs, every time one of us kind of nudged it or did something to it, something terrible happened the day after or the day of. And it never missed. Until eventually my dad, because I think he was just concerned about how all the kids in the neighborhood were scared of this rock, just said, all right, we're taking it back. And we ended up doing that. Because all the kids were just freaking out because every time, somebody moved that rock, something terrible happened.
There was this episode of The Brady Bunch that played out almost exactly like that, except it was a little tiki god that they got from Hawaii.
Nice.
And it brought them bad luck, and they had to finally get rid of it.
I grew up Brady. Well, here let's get some actual prediction, 5 terrifying predictions, and then we'll give you our reaction to it, or we'll react to actual video. It's playing. Top Trending presents 5 terrifying predictions of real life tragedies. Maid's haunting dreams.
A woman who worked as a maid to a rich family in the early 1900s
glad we didn't have to read all this.
soon began having strange and horrifying dreams about her most recent purchase, the most expensive suite on a passenger voyage to the United States. The visions were so haunting and severe that the woman canceled her trip and refused to go on board, losing the money she had been saving to travel. In contrast, Major Archibald Willingham Butt also experienced premonitions about the disaster of the trip, but decided to go anyway, after changing his will to manage the possibility he would not return. Both of them had bought tickets to board the Titanic.
There was a book called The Titan, which was almost about the
When
Titanic,
Reva
but
Steenkamp was
years
only
before it.
14 years old, she felt compelled to paint a picture she could not fully explain. In the painting, an angel stands at the bottom of a ladder going up into the sky, while in the distance, a mysterious figure approaches with a gun. The angel cups her hands to her mouth in fear. Years later, Reva Steenkamp would go on to become the girlfriend of Paralympian Oscar Pistorius, who would murder her with a gun on Valentine's Day 2013, and be the center of a media circus and notorious court case in the coming months.
That's a little bit freaky right there.
That is a little weird.
In 1970, David Booth had recurring nightmares of a deadly plane crash for over a week. In his dream, the large passenger-sized jet flipped over on the runway and burst into flames. Booth became so troubled by these dreams, he eventually informed the FAA about them and surprisingly found listening ears. The FAA concluded that the plane in Booth's dreams was likely a Boeing 727 plane or a DC-10. However, there was nothing more they could do. On the final day of Booth's nightmares, Flight 191 experienced a horrific plane crash after takeoff, flipping over after one of the engines broke loose. Nearly 300 passengers died on board, as the plane was a DC-K-10, one of the largest at the airline.
Dreams are
A young boy named Logan Dreyer quickly developed a number of panic attacks while attending his school, a happening that frightened other students, teachers, and the boy's mother.
Kids don't like
Despite all
school.
attempts to calm him, Dreyer would repeatedly act out and scream in class that he didn't feel as though the school were safe. Eventually, Dreyer's mother transferred him out of the school, and his panic attacks subsided, except when he was visited by friends from that school. Only 2 weeks later, a gunman entered Dreyer's school of Sandy Hook Elementary and took the lives of many students and teachers.
Wow.
28 in total, to be precise, including himself and his own mother that morning. While Logan's sudden panic
That is
attacks were
terrifying.
looked at by school officials as a random happenstance, Dreyer's mother claims he received the powers of his late grandmother, who was a psychic. Wall Street executive Barrett Naylor considered himself a hard-working man who was not superstitious in the least. Still, he often chose to go with his gut when he was unsure of a certain predicament or feeling, just as he did one morning in 1993. As Naylor rode the train to work at the World Trade Center, he suddenly got an uneasy feeling and decided to return home. That very same morning, bombs went off in the bottom of the Twin Towers. Flash forward almost a decade later, and Naylor suddenly gets another strange gut feeling about going to work. He decides to stay home, this time missing and surviving the devastating terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001.
That is so uncanny stuff right there.
Okay, those are cool. Because, like, I've seen a bunch of predictions from 9/11 that just seem coincidental.
Yeah.
These are very much not coincidental things, or at least less coincidental.
I don't know. With as many people are there in that building and or go in and out of it over a 9-year stretch or an 8-year stretch, how many gut feelings were there with other people? How many times did that happen? I think mathematically, like millions of people, and he gets the gut feeling right twice. Maybe, yes. The one that really got me was the Sandy Hook one.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from that sounding like it's going to be the plot of a cheap horror movie coming up soon,
Yeah.
a psychological thriller like that.
By M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, Shyamalan. That is the fact that the kids would visit him and he would still get, so agitated. That's.
I wonder if those were the kids that died.
I know, right? It's just so strange. It really on such a tragic happening for God. If you could harness that power, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so freaky that the other ones were dreams. This kid was awake and would just go there and be surrounded by
panic
these
attacks.
walls.
Yeah,
panic attacks. That's just so creepy.
that is.
I possibly a coincidence. Maybe those kids reminded him of a place he just didn't like. Sandy. Maybe he just really didn't like Sandy Hook, and the kids that came to visit him reminded him of that place.
Maybe.
Possibly, but just based on everything else in this video, that one seems the most kind of to stand out to me.
Yeah.
The dream stuff, I'm not so much concerned about those. You know why? Because if you know a trip's coming up and you've heard of plane crashes before or boats sinking, maybe you have nightmares about it.
Well, I don't think the guy who talked to the FAA was planning on going on a trip, but I'm actually surprised that the FAA listened to him.
Yeah, that is very so strange. Like it's hard enough just to get them on the line to kind of help you out with your own
luggage.
Yeah, but I
yeah, the fact that they listened to him was actually pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's the incredible part of that story. The dreams, yeah.
Yeah.
If I were going on a trip soon, I'd be obsessing over it and maybe having dreams about it too. So, anyway, now I'm going to peer into the future myself, and I predict that you will do 3 things. 1, you you are clicking the subscribe button. 2, you're clicking the like button. 3, you're leaving a comment about Alex's shirt.
It is quite nice.
Sure. I'm not underdressed at all. Alright, so, thank you guys again for joining us for another episode of Randomly Insightful. I am Random Jamal. This is Insightful Alex. You are awesome. Have a good one.